This holiday of Shavuot occurs at an interesting time of year, often what feels like the busiest time of year. School year is winding down, so it's a time of final programs, projects, performances, exams, a time of proms and end-of-year parties and graduations. It's a time of year when people often say, "I can't believe how fast the year has gone." In my home, as we celebrated confirmation last night and prepare for graduation in the days ahead, the time is filled with sentimental reflection. Sappy posts appear on my Facebook feed about little babies growing up and becoming adults and leaving home. There are TV commercials and news stories of proud graduates in cap and gown embracing parents and grandparents. I'll be honest, more than a single tear has furrowed my cheek. The words, "it goes so fast," are ones I was always annoyed at hearing when my kids were babies and toddlers. It didn't feel like it was going so fast then. They zapped every ounce of energy I had, and I couldn't imagine that they would one day be big enough, grown up enough to take care of themselves, let alone drive away and then move away. And those words are so true. At this heartfelt time, words hit me differently, more emotionally, like these words of poetry by Shel Silverstein, The Clock Man. "How much will you pay for an extra day?" the clock man asks the child. "Not 1 penny," the answer came, "for my days are as many as smiles." "How much will you pay for the extra day?" he asked when the child was grown. "Maybe $1, maybe less, for I've plenty of days of my own." "How much will you pay for an extra day?" he asked when the time had come to die. "All the pearls and all of the seas and all of the stars in the sky." How much will you pay for an extra day? Shel Silverstein's haunting question lingers in the air. A child would say nothing. A day is endless. Time is abundant. An adult might hesitate negotiating its worth amidst responsibilities and aspirations. But someone at the twilight of life, someone who has watched loved ones slip from their grasp, who has felt the ache of loss, would offer everything. Yizkor is not merely a sacred part of our festival prayer service. It is a reckoning. We sit in the presence of memory, knowing that the hands of the clock will never reverse. We speak the names of those we loved, acknowledging the sacred cost of time. And in doing so, we must ask ourselves, do we truly understand its value? The clock man invites us to consider how easily we take time for granted. As children, we're blissfully unaware of its limits. How many mornings did we wake up without concern? How many family meals did we share without appreciating their rarity? Only later, when absence enters our life, do we grasp the price. In Judaism, time is not merely a concept, but a vessel for holiness. Shabbat arrives not as an interruption, but as a reminder that every week has a sacred rhythm. The counting of the Omer reminded us that each day holds meaning. The Jewish calendar itself, with its cycle of remembrance and renewal, insists that time is not simply passing. It is shaping us. And with its passage, we experience loss. So if we are shaped by time, how do we use it wisely and fill it with goodness and blessing and gratitude? This is the question Yizkor compels us to answer. In Kohelet, Ecclesiastes, we read, "To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven." There is a time to be born and a time to die, a time to weep and a time to laugh. But what our ancient text does not say, what we must discern for ourselves, is how we honor the time that we are given. We are not merely passengers on a river of time. We are participants in its unfolding. Imagine for a moment that the clockman approaches us today on Shavuot as we were about to leave our homes for services for Yizkor. The clockman asks, "How much will you pay for an extra day if you could spend it with a loved one who has died?" Now, that question has the power to stop us in our tracks. How could we even begin to put a value on that day? Do we hesitate? Do we bargain? Or do we offer all the pearls in the sea and all the stars in the sky? Oh my, what we wouldn't do, what we wouldn't give, to hold their hand, hug them tight to us, to have another conversation, to share all that's going on in our lives, to remind them just one last time when they could hear it and know it and feel it, how much we love and adore them. Oh, could we but do all that? And we know even one more day would never be enough, no matter how much we paid for it, no matter how rich the conversation, how sweet the laughter. It would never take away the ache and sadness and yearning that their absence has left behind. Yizkor is an act of defiance against forgetting. We say the names of our parents, our siblings, our spouses, our children, our loved ones, not just to remember, but to remind ourselves. Time is precious. The time with them mattered. It was real. Their days shaped us. And now in their absence, we must decide how we will use the time left to us, the fleeting time. And how do we carry our dear ones with us even after their time has ended? The greatest act of honoring our loved ones is not just remembering them, but embodying their lessons, of course, their essence, and bringing more of that goodness into the world. If they were kind, we must be kinder. If they were wise, we must seek wisdom. If they taught us love, we must love with deeper intention. Jewish tradition teaches us that tzedakah, the act of righteousness, is among the highest form of remembrance. When we give money in memory of those we have lost, we extend their impact well beyond their lifetime. Their days become woven into ours. Their legacies live through our choices. Time, even without them being physically present, includes them and connects to them. Silverstein's The Clockman reminds us that time is not infinite. Yizkor reminds us that love is. The days we cherish, the people we honor, the memories we hold, they do not fade. They live eternally through us and through the gift of memory. As we raise our voices in these Yizkor prayers, let us answer Silverstein's question not with regret, but with purpose. How much will you pay for the extra day? The price has already been paid. The true question is, what will you do with the time still left? And how will the memory of our dearest ones be manifest in those days? The choice is ours, each and every day. Zichronam livracha, may their beautiful and righteous memories always be for blessing.